growth is inclusive, sustainable, and anchored in local enterprise.
The framework introduces local procurement targets, community benefit agreements, CBAs as we call them, in every resort area, and a linkage data network that will publicly track how much of the tourism dollar stays in Jamaica. And this is the first time that will be happening in the history of tourism in Jamaica. Local First ensures that every new investment in tourism translates into jobs, contracts, and opportunities for Jamaicans.
To drive this process, the ministry has established a high-level task force to be led by State Minister Tova Hamilton. It will bring together key tourism agencies such as the Tourism Enhancement Fund, Tourism Product Development Company TPDCO, Jamaica Tourist Board, Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation, Jamaica Vacations Limited, and the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. And finally, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange has been awarded the 2025 Commonwealth Parliamentary Equality and Diversity Award. This in recognition of her leadership and work in advancing gender equality and social justice in Jamaica. Speaking in the House on Tuesday, Minister Grange shared that she was humbled by the recognition.
Jamaica has come a far way in the fight for gender equality, but we still have a way to go. So let us continue to strive for a Jamaican society that protects and empowers all its citizens, men, women, our boys, and our girls.
Minister Grange is the first Jamaican parliamentarian to receive an award from the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. That's it for this week's House Matters. Join us again next time for more on what's happening in the Houses of Parliament. I'm Jetta Francis. Take care. A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is
3 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning to you. It is Thursday, October 16, 2025. We are alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you. If you are listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, or 90.9, thank you so much for joining us on your radio. If you are listening and watching on our YouTube channel, good morning to you. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, so go on over there and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Want to say good morning to Merlin Russell, who I'm seeing first in the YouTube chat this morning. Roger Smart, good morning to ya. Hugh Donaldson, good morning. Ines Campbell Murray, top of the morning to you. David Nebar, good morning to you as well. Sonia Hutton, top of the morning to you. Sonia Ryder 40, good morning. Jean Sellers, Willow Will, and all the others over there on YouTube. Big up on yourself. Top of the morning to all of you. If you're listening from our mobile app, which is available on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, that's Revo News. You can go on over there and check it out. And if you're listening and watching from our YouTube channel, good morning. Thank you so much. Not YouTube channel, our website. I said YouTube channel already. Our website. Good morning to you. It's rivernews.ai. Listening and watching over there. You can also watch on our website. Yes. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for making it nationwide. Willow Will says, nor NGB, I could tell you have Manchester in you. Where did you learn that information, Willow Will? Let me know. Anyway, it's a Thursday morning, and this Thursday morning we have for you MLSS and you.
MLSS and You is brought to you by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
This morning inside MLSS and You, our conversation will have two parts. We will be talking about the electronic labor exchange system, and we also be getting an update on the solidarity program. I believe it was this week that someone asked about the solidarity program during the consumer hour. Yes, so I'm very happy that we will get an update on that today. And to assist us with this, we have the man himself, the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr. Good morning to you.
Nora Gabe Bantag.
Good morning, sir.
Are you related to Buju?
No, my name would have to be Myri.
Well, you know, I'm Jamaican, so we see it. It's Bang and Buju.
Is Buju borrow my name, really and truly, if you look at it.
Oh, yes.
No,
Sure.
yes.
Call him about some royalties.
Yeah, man. Definitely, I'm going to have to reach out. Buju? Yeah, man, link up.
or if you have a dish, you call the Ministry of Labour.
All right, Minister, you're on top of it this morning.
Right.
So we're gonna start our discussion today by talking firstly about the electronic labor exchange. What exactly is that system? What does it look like, and how does it assist the ministry with its work in the labor force?
Yeah, so very important system. It's a system that helps us to really create the bridge now between the employer and the employee, persons looking for work and the persons who are looking for workers. And it's basically a platform where both stakeholders can join, pass their information, or seek information. And we use the electronic labor exchange to also guide us to the job fairs that we do across the island. So anybody that's engaged or participating in our job fairs usually has to register with the ELE so that we have all of the relevant information, and it makes it easier for us to facilitate connecting, again, job seekers with employers. And we use the ELE to help us to make sure that we can manage the process of connecting people to the right, not just connecting, but connecting people to the right employer and the right opportunity for themselves.
Right. Now, the ministry has been having a series of job fairs. You made mention of those job fairs just now. Talk to me about how long you have been embarking on this consistent series of job fairs, and how has it been so far?
Well, I've been here since May 2023, and we have been ramping up our job fairs. Matter of fact, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security takes ownership of a lot of the success that the country has seen in terms of the reduction of unemployment. And we believe that our job fairs that present great opportunity through the workshops, the work job readiness training, helping persons to know how to create resumes, how to interview well, and of course, again, connecting employers and employees. We believe that has been a significant contributor to the success that the country has seen in more persons working now in Jamaica than ever before, especially our young people. We had a reduction from over 30% unemployment in 2016 to now 10.1, a historic low for youth in Jamaica. So we believe that through the job fairs, we are able to provide an opportunity for persons, particularly in those sectors like the BPO sector, retail, security, manufacturing, those sectors, to come in, to interview, and to also get resumes that even though persons may not get immediately, some persons, their resume is on file. And so many persons will tell you that they may not get a job on the day, but just off of that interview, they may get a call 6 months down the line, sometimes a year down the line. So it's really a great opportunity that the job fairs have been creating. And that's why for October, we are going to have 3 large-scale job fairs across the country. One in St. Anne, one in St. Catherine, and then Kingston and St. Andrew, designed to really connect hundreds of Jamaicans with the immediate employment opportunities across the several key industries, as I said before, BPO, hospitality, retail, security, manufacturing, and you name it.
Right. And I was just about to ask about some of those industries that will be targeted for this job fair. You went through them just now. What kind of opportunities? Well, you go ahead.
So depending on the job fair, what we have done is we reach out to companies in the area particularly. Mm-hmm. So let's take, for instance, the first in the series of job fairs, which is our job fair coming up on Thursday, October 23rd. If you're listening to me now, write it down. Get your pen and your paper, or just use your phone and your notes. Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, at our parish office in St. Anne's. That is in the St. Anne's Bay Parish Office, located at 4 Windsor Road, St. Anne's Bay. We're going to have a job fair starting from 9 a.m., running up to 3 p.m. Among the participants, in terms of the companies, will be Kaya Herb House, Restaurants Associated Limited, which is Burger King's, Popeyes, and Little Caesars. Hawkeye will be there for those persons interested in security. Convenient Brands Limited, which are the ones that have the Domino's and the Circle K franchises. Encore, the restaurant, Oceans, Coral Spring Hotel, and Chuka Tours. So you realize that we have a wide variety of participating companies. So there are a lot of positions that will be available, from customer service representatives, security officers, junior cultivators, chefs, shift coordinators. We offer a diverse range of opportunities at our skill levels. And that's just one of the 3 large-scale job fairs that we're going to have. I can tell you the details of the rest if you have time.
Yes, I was just about to ask the dates and locations for the other 2.
All right, so the first one, for those writing, October 23rd, St. Anne's Bay Parish Office, 9 to 3. The second one is October 29th, that's a Wednesday, at the Celebration Church at 1E Portmore Mall in St. Catherine. That's formerly the Portmore Skating Ring. And we're going to do again from 9 to 3 p.m. And the participating employers for that will include Centerfield BPO, again, Starbucks, Honeybun, Fontana Pharmacy, Printwear Online, Guardsman, again, Restaurants of Jamaica. Restaurants of Jamaica is the one that does KFC, Wendy's, and Pizza Hut. Juicy Patties as well, and SWAT Elite Security. So you realize, again, the range of jobs that will be made available across multiple sectors, from hospitality and retail to security and BPO services. And again, the offerings in terms of positions will range from entry-level right up to supervisory and managerial roles. In addition to those 2 large-scale events, we're also hosting 2 customized job fairs for Fragility on Wednesday, October 22nd at the Fairy Mead Farm in Angels, that's St. Catherine, and then another at the 7 Saxthorpe Avenue, St. Andrew. Saxthorpe, Saxthorpe. Both of them running from 9 to 3 p.m. And these will be specialized recruitment drives that are aimed at filling about 300 broad brand advocate positions within that group, the Fragility Group, offering targeted now employment opportunities and also a very direct link to one of Jamaica's leading BPO employers. So you realize that there are a raft of opportunities, and we are already getting calls from persons asking when we're going to have another. So Jamaica now knows when it will be, and I ask you, check us out on our social media at PCharlesJR or at MLSSJA, and we will have additional information for you online.
Awesome. We are up on the break, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about these job fairs and how those who are seeking jobs can prepare themselves before they come to these job fairs. We take a break and come back with more.
Decorate and redecorate your space with water-resistant, colorful, and fast-drying paints from Edgechem Paints. The time by Edgechem Paints, changing lives 1 gallon at a time, is
9:15.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress. But at an old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And become I want to buy a little house, but also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's MLSS and You this morning, a program brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. We are speaking with the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Childs Jr. We are talking about the ministry's efforts to get more Jamaicans into jobs. They are having a series, or they have been having a series of job fairs, and those continue next week into the following week. So you can look out for those job fairs. Stay tuned to the ministry's social media pages. And of course, I will ask the minister just to repeat the dates and locations again after when we're through. But for those who will be going to seek jobs, Minister, what should they be doing to prepare themselves, and what should they be taking with them?
So again,
for those who are going or intend to go and seek jobs at these job fairs, how should they be preparing themselves, and what should they be taking with them?
I would say make sure that you carry your ID. You need to identify yourself. I always tell persons, even though you have registered on the ALE, you can bring your resume and try and get some sleep. Try and get some sleep so that you're presenting, most importantly, your true self. Many of the youngsters you find are very, very nervous and anxious, and so it causes them to not prepare themselves physically and mentally. Just relax. We are here to help you. The Ministry of Labour has created this safe space for you to come in and to learn. And so many times I go, Nora Gay, just to speak to them, and I say to them, listen, failure is not fatal in this space. So if you go in and you have a bad interview at first, take it as an opportunity to learn. That's why we are creating this space here. And we will continue to create multiple spaces where the environment is enabling. So bring all the relevant documents that can prove who you are and what your qualifications and competencies are. And copies of whatever certificates that are relevant. And as I said to you, bring a good attitude and a broad smile, because it makes a world of a difference when you walk through that room. Sometimes you don't realize that even if you're not being interviewed, that person who will interview you in an hour may look up and see you. Every step as you touch on the grounds is a step towards your job. So be careful how you walk, how you talk, how you move. You can't be going on one way in the waiting area and then you come in before the interviewer, and all of a sudden you're a different person. Somebody's going to see that distinction. So they need to know who you are, and you need to distinguish yourself as ready to work the minute your foot touches on the ground.
Absolutely. And regardless of the type of job that you are going for, the type of job you are seeking, as best as possible, put on a professional attire, put yourself together as best as you can, and present your best self on that day.
Yes, I should have said that, and that is perhaps one of the most important things. Thank you, Nora, for that. I actually let me give you quickly an example. So a young man who was sitting in the waiting area, waiting to be processed for an interview. And two things immediately I noticed when I walked in. Firstly, he was not attired appropriately. He had on something which you perhaps might see him at a Stone Love party in. And it immediately made you have in your mind a reflection that he's not aware of his environment. Right. Secondly, it's not just what he had on, but how he was sitting in his seat. He was slouched down, leg open, like he's, at his house. And I must tell you, funny enough, one of the interviewers was walking with me and pointed out to me and said, "Minister, here is the big problem that we're having with the new recruits and the young persons that are coming to be interviewed." And I think something is very unfortunate about that statement. Firstly, in this case, it was true. And so his actions caused that person to have a representation of an entire cohort of youth. And secondly, it's not true for most youth. Because in that room, and I stopped her and said to her, I said, "You have 25 people in this room, and only one is sitting badly. Everyone else is dressed appropriately, is ready, is positioning themselves for success." So no, don't generalize our youth in that way. But we do have to tell persons that your attitude, particularly when somebody does not know you before, is represented through your physical deportment. So if you're walking in a particular way, if you're speaking a particular way, if you smell a particular way, all of these different things are characteristics that are used to determine who you are by someone that is just meeting you. So be very cognizant and aware and deliberate in how you position yourself so that people can get to know who you really are. Many persons are highly competent and they don't get through an interview because of nervousness and because they're not prepared. While you have other persons who are not as capable in doing the work, but they may be able to communicate themselves better in how they either represent themselves in their walk, in their posture, or just how they speak. And that's another thing. Don't be afraid to go in front of the mirror the night before. Ask yourself some relevant questions and respond to yourself so you can see and you can hear how you can give a best response to questions you think are likely to be asked by an interviewer for whatever position you have a relevant interest in.
Absolutely, indeed. Very, very, very good advice there, Minister. Now, just before we wrap up this conversation about, jobs and the labor market, the electronic labor exchange support, how is it seeking to support persons with disabilities or youth who may face other barriers to work?
Well, as the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, we always have inclusivity on our mind. And so the Electronic Labour Exchange is an online platform, so it allows persons with disabilities to register their profiles, upload their resumes, and to indicate to the system whatever their preferences are. And we do have some features in terms of our partnership with JCPD, who work closely with us to make sure that if someone is registered with the council, they can get specific training opportunities and matched with employers who have accessible environments and who are open to the reasonable accommodations that are required. For those who can't easily access the online system, we usually say to them that they can get in and come in person for assistance either through our parish office or through the JCPD. Officers will help them then with registration, with resume writing, and just generally connecting them to training or job fairs. We have a number of persons with disabilities who work at the ministry, and some of them will tell you that they got the opportunity through job fairs that they came to themselves. Additionally, we also host and participate in a number of sensitization sessions for employers, just as we do job readiness for employees. And a part of that sensitization sometimes includes an understanding of the legislative framework in Jamaica, which flows through the Disabilities Act effected in 2022. And that act requires and promotes equitable hiring practices and awareness when it comes on to provisions regarding employment rights for persons with disabilities. So we do a number of things when it comes on to inclusivity and ensuring that we are not just the ministry that is speaking about it, but through our own internal actions, we are creating opportunities for all Jamaicans so that no one is left behind. I speak proudly of about 4 of my participants in the Farm Work program who are persons with disabilities that we deliberately and strategically positioned in the program. 2 of them, young women who came out of the Abilities Foundation program, teaching them about agriculture, women in agriculture. And another 2 were 2 farmers who had a disability or have a disability who we positioned specifically. And they are doing a very good job so far in Canada. And we want to continue again to create safe, enabling spaces for all, in particular, safe spaces for persons with disabilities to have removal of barriers so they can unlock their potential.
Absolutely amazing. Excuse me. And Minister, just before we go to the break, I'm going to ask you to just repeat the dates and locations for those upcoming job fairs, and if there are other employers who want to come on board, how can they get connected?
All right, so the dates are firstly Thursday, October 23rd, that's next week, at the St. Anne's Bay Ministry of Labour and Social Security Parish Office. It's located on 4 Windsor Road, St. Anne's Bay, 9 to 3. The second is at the Celebration Church in Portmore, at the 1E Portmore Mall in St. Catherine, and that's on Wednesday, October 29th, and again, between 9 to 3. For those persons who don't know Celebration Church, it's where you used to have the Portmore skating ring. And additionally, we host 2 customized job fairs for Sagility, which is a specialized recruitment drive aimed at filling about 300 brand advocate positions. And those will be held on October 22nd in 2 locations. One is at the Fairy Mead Farm, Angel, St. Catherine, and another at 7 Saxthorpe Avenue in St. Andrew, and both running from 9 to 3 p.m. I want to put up the information on my social media as well. I'll ask my team to get that done quickly so that if you need a refresher, we can actually put it where you can actually access it through our social media at PChartsJR. In terms of persons who are employers who want to get involved with our job fairs, you can have free recruitment and placement services by contacting Mr. Lyndon Ford. Mr. Ford is the director of ELE, which is the Electronic Labor Exchange. And I will also put his email and information on the flyer that we're going to put up on social media. But for you who are here listening, it is lford@nlss.gov.jm.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister. And we look forward to those that information on your social media and the ministry's social media pages. Very important for persons who are seeking jobs to take up these opportunities. They are available, and let's bring that unemployment rate to nothing. So
that's exactly what we need. And I can tell you that in my constituency, I've let them know that my goal is to drive towards being a full employment constituency.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Awesome. I understand we have Mr. Ford on the line, who you just mentioned, the Chief Technical Director. Well, no, the Director of the Electronic Labour Exchange, Mr. Lyndon Ford. Good morning, Mr. Ford.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. Good morning, humble host. Certainly, good morning, Jamaica.
Mr. Ford, you are at the helm of this electronic labor exchange system. The system, how has it been working so far, especially as it relates to connecting employers with employees, connecting specific employers with those they need to, who have the right skills for the jobs that they have open or vacant?
All right, so let me first say, like anything else, it's a labor of love. The ELE started since 2002, and with this particular system, it would have gone through different phases in terms of the platform. The Honorable Minister, I'm sure, would also be, it would be remiss of me if I not say that with his support, we are moving more in terms of the next steps, in terms of improving some of the gaps that we would have identified. We, last year, in terms of the last fiscal year, would have referred roughly around 6,000 persons to employment opportunities, provided job fair opportunities for a number of persons across the island. And of course, there are resource issues that we are looking at in terms of the department, but notwithstanding, we are connecting persons to employment opportunities. The particular way of connection is done based on the gaps that we would have. So if the system doesn't work, what we have found is that the job fairs work, our internship opportunities work in terms of referral system, our private-public partnerships works in terms of employers linking with us in order to say, we realize that you are able to pull the stakeholders that we're looking for employment opportunities, and you are able to bring them in the space in order to provide the opportunities. One of the things then that we also realize too is that we are able to move our persons, especially our at-risk youth persons in terms of the disabled community, to have opportunities that they would not necessarily have. So in terms of how it works, we are here as a melting pot in order to facilitate that mechanism to allow persons to get the opportunity that they would not normally have. And as a result of that, I believe that our stakeholders are liking what it is that we're doing. In terms of our future plans, it's about having a more robust, effective, efficient platform that would allow for certain different algorithms, AI, in order to effectively manage some of the things that we are currently doing manually. And that is where we're going in terms of the ministry and certainly in terms of the world.
All right, and Mr. Ford, what are some of the main, and Minister earlier made mention of one of the challenges where attire is concerned, where they saw firsthand a young man who came and wasn't properly attired. What are some of the main challenges that you see that are preventing some of these job seekers from attaining jobs?
Certainly. Soft skills are always an issue. What we find is that our young persons may have an idea in terms of the type of company that they want to go, but they have not done the research on the company. What we have also found is that they don't bring that winning attitude to the interview, in the sense that they don't arm themselves with the information in order for them to be knowledgeable. The attire is an issue in terms of not necessarily be properly groomed. The cut-up jeans, which may not fit within the culture of the organization that they're actually interviewing for. What we also find is that, some of our young men tend to smoke before they actually come to these interviews, and the proper hygiene is not done in order to make sure that is fixed, and we also realize too that as a result of these gaps, one of the things that we have expanded is our employability skill sessions, which is our job readiness sessions. So what we try to do as a ministry to have a workshop that would allow for person in the same week of the job fair to be a part of, so that we can highlight some of these critical things to them. But what we find is that persons don't necessarily come to the workshops. They're saying, well, Mr. Ford, we don't have the money to come to the workshop at the same time coming to the job fair. We want to get the interview, but sir, we have to make a decision on that. So we're pivoting in terms of trying to assist and make sure that those activities are aligned to the geographical location in terms of the groups that are coming. We are trying to see if we can get some of these activities online so that they are able to, be a part of the session. We encourage them that even if they don't come to the session, is to go on YouTube in order to see some of the myriad of videos that are there, But it is important that we listen and we try to pivot accordingly. So those are some of the challenges that we are seeing. What we also do is to encourage our employers to say that's a partnership. So, of course, you would need to actually help us in terms of what it is that you would want us to do to help some of these new recruits. And they have really and truly, utilized that service. So, for instance, one of our key stakeholders in terms of, let me not call the name, but a major pharmacy in Jamaica would ask us to come in to do these sessions for their new managers that we are recruiting for them, in order to say what are the expectations, how do you understand the different culture, that kind of a thing, how do you deal with the younger persons, what are the myriad of issues that you may come in, and then we also have our other industry internal stakeholders in terms of our IR department being a part of those sessions. We realize too that employers use us in order to say, okay, how can we get our line staff that you have now just recruited to understand the culture? And so we work with the different organizations in order to do those job readiness sessions internally. And we have gotten results from that. So it's different strategies in order to combat different issues.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ford, and Minister Charles Jr. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and all the best to you guys as you continue with these job fairs. And I hope as you continue with the sensitization sessions and workshops that the crop of job seekers will come more prepared, more ready, and that you will find new and innovative ways to get them ready where you see the lack. Thank you so much, Mr. Ford. And
awesome. May I just say one other thing just before we leave?
Sure, no problem.
The October 29th is where we're going to have our third job fair, which is the Sagility, and it will be at 7 Sockstorp Avenue, St. Andrew. So we have one on the 22nd and we have one on the 29th, the same day that we're going to be having our major road job fair over by Portmore. I think the minister would have indicated the 22nd, but he did not give the date for the second one, which would be October 29th.
I have to leave something for you to do with the force. you this is why you're the director. Good job. Good job.
All right. All right. So I understand, Minister, you are staying with us to also talk about the Solidarity Program. So thank you so much, Mr. Ford. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Solidarity Program.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is
9:40.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no distress. discrimination. Here to support them too. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. When your friend or your family, somebody in your community, people living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
For over 30 years, Chris and Charles has been financing your goals, dreams, creating your great moments. Celebrate the occasion with us. Borrow $1 million, pay less than $25,000 monthly, and get 30% off your processing fees. No guarantor needed. Call 876-920-4189 or WhatsApp 876-838-9028. Conditions apply. When you think loan, think Chris and Charles.
Creative Building Finishes is celebrating 25 years of transforming Jamaican spaces. And we're saying thank you in a big way. Enjoy up to 25% off select items all year long. From bold tiles to breathtaking bathrooms and kitchens. Discover everything you need to create your dream space. Visit us at 5 Red Hills Road or online at creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes.
Your beautiful finish begins here.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I am Nora Gay Banton, and it's MLSS and You This Morning, a program brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. If you are a job seeker, you're just joining us, then you missed some valuable information at the beginning of this interview. So you can go back to our YouTube channel and check out that and hear when the ministry will be hosting their upcoming job fairs. But we are switching gears now to talk about the Solidarity Program, a program that many Jamaicans are waiting to hear some additional information on. And so I'm very happy that I'm having this conversation. And well, the minister is still on the line with us, Minister Pernell Charles Jr., and we are joined by the Director of the Public Assistance Department at the ministry, Mrs. Kemisha Anderson Thomas. Good morning to you, Mrs. Thomas.
Great morning.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am doing good. Now, we have spoken about the Solidarity Program on this program before. I believe the last time we spoke, the ministry was about to begin some I don't want to call it a road show, but you were going into some communities, which I believe was a part of phase 2 of the program. So where are you now with the Solidarity Program?
Good morning, and it's so good to be on here this morning to speak about the Solidarity Program. So yes, the Solidarity Program has been we are administering it through different phases and stages. So you mentioned that we are now in phase 2. But currently we are moving into phase 2 of the program. It is done, phase 1 through the constituency offices.
Right.
They have mobilized roughly 80% already in terms of application uploading. right? Phase 2 is pretty much the ministry is partnering with civil society organizations, churches, and non-governmental organizations to help identify and refer potential beneficiaries.
Right.
And of course, phase 3 is where we do self-referral. That's the self-referral phase where individuals can apply online directly, right? And that phase will be announced soon.
All right. So you are currently moving into phase 2. Now, tell us. Well, quickly for those who may have forgotten, how the Solidarity Program works. What exactly is it, and who is it for? You pause with that answer. We're going to take a quick time signal and then come back.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is
9:46. All right, you're back here inside the Consumer Hour. We're speaking with Mrs. Kamisha Anderson Thomas, Director of the Public Assistance Department at the Ministry. The Minister of Labor and Social Security, Pernell Charles Julia, is also on. So, Mrs. Thomas, just before the time signal, I asked you to just give us a quick rundown of what exactly the Solidarity Program is and who it is targeting.
All right, great. So the Solidarity Program is one of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in the U.S. and most transformative initiatives. It represents a $1 billion one-time cash transfer program that provides $20,000 cash grants to 50,000 of Jamaica's most vulnerable citizens who are not currently benefiting from any existing social protection programs such as FAST, Poor Relief, NIS, or social pension. However, Solidarity is much more than a grant. It is a gateway program designed to help Jamaicans build pathway out of poverty by connecting them to a network of services that can address their individual needs, whether it's training opportunities through HARP, support through PASS, or assistance with expected civil documentation.
Right.
Solidarity recognizes that sustainable change requires more than temporary relief. It requires connection, it requires empowerment, and the long-term opportunities. Now, who can apply? The program targets several vulnerable groups. So, elderly persons 60 years and older, not receiving PASS, Poor Relief, NIS, or social pension. So that's one category. 2, youth ages 18 to 35, not in employment, not in education or training. Another category is the person with disabilities, persons in low-income informal work, persons who are medically indigent, and micro-business operators affected by disaster within the last year. Now, the application process. Persons can complete applications online via GoPayout platform when it becomes available for self-registration. But for now, we are currently through our Solidarity liaison officers who pretty much do uploads, working closely with constituencies and other civil registration organizations who are uploading.
No, you. As I'm happy you got there. When these in this phase of the program, it's where you, as you said earlier, churches, non-governmental organizations, civil society groups identify persons who they think would benefit or could benefit from the Solidarity Program. When they've identified these persons, what's the next step that, say, for example, a church should take if they identify probably members of their congregation who could benefit from the Solidarity Program?
All right, so we have point contact persons who we are already in discussions with and be taking through training as it relates to how to manipulate or maneuver the GovPayout system. So whenever they find these persons, they too will become persons that are able to apply on the person's behalf, coupled with our solidarity team who will be going out into the different organizations, putting on different spheres. So it's a collaborative effort. We will not leave our social services to do it by themselves. It's a hand-in-hand approach. So we will put on these spheres, we will go out and we will assist them in uploading the application or assisting persons to apply online.
Okay. And I don't know if you or the minister will take this one. There have been some delays recently with the program and getting persons on board. How is the ministry seeking to address this, especially before the self-referral phase comes in, where I'm sure you're expecting an influx?
Yes. All right, so the verification process is crucial to maintain, fairness and accountability. And like we've been saying, this is not one of the regular programs. We are going above and beyond to ensure that the program is pretty much meeting its objectives. So the verification process is crucial to maintain fairness and accountability, even though it is taking time. And I think that this is where the little glitches come in. Persons may not understand that this is a one-of-a-kind program and we want to ensure that it is meeting its objectives. So delay occurs when applications or applicants submit incomplete and inconsistent information such as incorrect birth dates or missing attestation forms, because each category carry a level of, certain attestation form based on the nature of the program. So the ministry has strengthen its support mechanism by spending more time, to guide participants, training constituency members, training the users to ensure that they understand how to complete the forms, and not just to complete the forms, but to make sure that the forms are completed accurately. So the ministry is also expanding its community outreach, working parish by parish to reach those who may not have internet access or the documents that they need. But what I want to also jump to is the fact that the program is already meeting its objectives. So, I want to make it clear that Solidarity is doing exactly what it is doing. And maybe people may not understand the little glitches that we're having, but it is helping us a lot. So yes, some people may feel that the process takes a little time, and the uploading of documentation and verification may be a little tedious, but that's exactly the system working the way it should. The very fact is that it's identifying mixed matches, whether it is that your TRN is not matching the name, or incorrect NIS number, or outdated personal details, means that Solidarity is already doing its job. For years, many Jamaicans have been using documents that have, small errors without realizing it. The program is now giving people the opportunity to fix those things, updating their records and become properly registered in the system.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So it is very important then for persons who are assisting with the program to ensure that your information is consistent and everything that you're giving over is correct, so that the program can run smoothly. Minister, two questions for you. The first one is, how is the ministry ensuring, or what is the ministry doing to help these vulnerable citizens that we've identified through the Solidarity program to put them in a better position after they've received this one-off $20,000 grant?
Excellent question. The goal for us is not just to provide the cash grant, but I'd say more importantly is to provide an opportunity for access to the suite of government services available across the various ministries. So if you're a youngster who is not now employed or training or working and you are on Solidarity, then we expect for you to not just get the cash grant, but also to be provided an opportunity to access hard NSTA training or other training, even private sector training, because we do have some partners in the private sector that have reached out to us and said that they will also present opportunities for Solidarity beneficiaries. If you are someone who is elderly or older person rather, and you are not on path, you are not on pension, and you receive a solidarity grant, subsequent to that, the intention is to integrate you into one of the programs that are most suitable for you. So if you don't have the documentation, we want to get you into the birthright program so you can get your documentation, and then you go on, for instance, social pension. But the intention is not just to have a one-off interaction, but rather to use this as an opportunity to create a wider net that can capture persons who are now outside of the formal system, bring them into the system, provide them with some immediate support, but then move them into a structured support that is institutionalized across the various ministries.
Awesome. And my final question to you, Minister, as we wrap up. The Solidarity Program was announced earlier this year, I believe, during the budget debate presentations. What's the timeline that the ministry is working with to get to the point of actually sending out these monies to persons' accounts, or having persons being able to actually get these grants?
So we have to wait until ICTA, that's a formerly eGov, provides us with the details of their updates. But the intention or the projection is that within the next month to 2 months, we should see some ramping up in terms of disbursement, as well as significant ramping up in terms of uploads. The program has taken us into a different realm. And so we'll have to redefine what efficiency is, so that it's not just based on an evaluation of time, but more importantly based on an evaluation of how comprehensive the program is in bringing the right people into formality and identifying the persons who are on the fringes of government interaction. Yeah. So it has taken some time, but I think we're doing well. And after we get this one right, it will bear fruit for the entire country in terms of our goal towards inclusive and sustainable development for Jamaica.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Minister, and thank you so much, Mrs. Thomas, as well, for joining us. I am looking forward, as you were speaking, I just thought about what the information gathered through embarking on this program, what kind of information the ministry would have been able to garner based on where the vulnerable members of our population are. You know, I believe that there should be some rich information at the end of this that I believe could be shared with the public as it relates to where you found people are, as it relates to who has a birth certificate, how much of the population does not have certain kinds of critical documents that they need to progress in life. So looking forward to that information if it is shared eventually with the public. Thank you so much, Minister and Mrs. Thomas, for joining us. Do enjoy the rest of your day and all the best with the program.
Thank you very much. All the best.
That was Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., and the Director of the Public Assistance Department at the Ministry, Mrs. Kemisha Anderson Thomas. That's where we're going to leave it for MLSS and you, and by extension, the Consumer Hour this morning. We make way now for Cliff Hughes Online.
MLSS and You was brought to you by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection. That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM. Tune in, turn up the volume,